I'll just show you guys. Like the stringiness. I'm Goldilocks over here trying to pick my skincare. As of recently, there's been a kind of major controversy. Now I know I'm definitely not the only one who's excited to welcome in 2021. I always intend for these favorites to go up at the end of the year, and yet somehow they always end up going up at the beginning of the year. But I still wanted to do my favorites. This is just kind of a wrap up of some of the things that I've either talked about on my channel or maybe didn't get a chance to highlight. Just products that I've genuinely been enjoying. I did my best to kind of like wrap everything up, but it's kind of hard. I mean, when you think back in like January 2020, February 2020, I mean, we were in a different part of life. So yeah, if I've mentioned other products on my video, it doesn't mean that since I didn't mention them in this video, they're not my favorites. It's just because I didn't feel the need to mention them again. Am I making sense? So I'm sitting here editing this video right now, and I realized I completely forgot to mention my new channel, which is my second channel. If you guys haven't seen my Folklore and Fairy Tale Fridays, I am creating a second channel for it so I can do that more full time, kind of do some booktube stuff since I've been doing a lot of reading, and I'll be doing probably like general vlogging. So it's gonna be like a little bit outside of beauty, but definitely go and subscribe. I really appreciate it. I'm really excited about it. I'm gonna have like some more creativity that I'm gonna be able to explore on that channel. But yeah, if you guys like kind of mythology, folklore, storytelling, that kind of thing, that's gonna be right up your alley. Now this yearly favorites video is a little bit different from the ones I've done in the past because I've kind of separated all the products up into categories so I could kind of give out awards to these products and kind of give a shout out to the reason that I like them. And I noticed there was kind of a pattern when I was rounding up all of these products, so I figured I'd go ahead and sort them to make our lives much easier. So without much further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Done enough rambling. Now the first category I'm going to be talking about is vitamin C. Now I know in like a New Year's resolution video from a couple years ago or recently, I'm not really sure when that was, I mentioned how I wanted to include like more actives into my skincare routine, really hone down on some of my favorite vitamin C products because I've liked vitamin C products in the past, but this year I've had some products that I've really seen visible differences in my skin that I really enjoyed, and I really kind of figured out how to include vitamin C into my skincare routine. Now the beauty of vitamin C is it kind of works in conjunction with your sunscreen to help prevent the damage that you're going to encounter day to day. There's so many benefits to vitamin C if you're not using one in your skincare routine. You definitely should. So I'm going to give some shout outs to some products that I've really been enjoying. Now I did mention that I love vitamin C serums, which are the ones that I use in the morning. And the one that I've really been enjoying, I kind of feel guilty mentioning this because it's expensive and it's also very popular, but it's popular for a good reason, and that's the Skinceuticals CE Ferulic. This is the vitamin C serum that I've absolutely loved. Now the reason that this is so pricey is because the way that they've stabilized the vitamin C in this. As you may or may not know, vitamin C is one of those ingredients. It's really hard to properly stabilize, so the ingredient itself doesn't degrade over time. And Skinceuticals has done a really good job at kind of perfecting that. Now you definitely want to use this within a reasonable amount of time and kind of limit its exposure to oxygen and sunlight. But I absolutely love how this went on my skin. It actually made like my skin look brighter and kind of faded some of the dark spots I was having issues with and some of like the freckles along my cheeks. The reason this is also so pricey is because the formula of this is proprietary to Skinceuticals. They've really, like I said, perfected that stabilization method in their formulation. And so you're paying for something that's definitely unique to this brand that you're not going to be able to find in a lot of other vitamin C products. Now having said that, that doesn't mean there aren't any other good vitamin C serums out there. There are plenty of really great ones. And for a more affordable one that I've been enjoying is from Glow Recipe. So this is the Pineapple C Bright Serum. I've actually just started using this within the past like couple of months, and I just love how this goes on my skin. I believe this is like a 22% vitamin C serum, so it's high enough where you're going to see a difference in your skin. And this is definitely something you might want to like work yourself up to. Like I've used 5% vitamin C's and 10%, 15, and kind of worked my way up to something like this because I do have sensitive skin. But this hasn't created any irritation on my skin. It's laid really nicely, absorbed really well, and I've really been enjoying this. Now some other vitamin C type products that I want to give a shout out to. I love this guy from Bonajour. This is the Green Multivitamin Vital Nutrition Cream. I don't know why I was having a hard time saying that. But this actually does have a vitamin C derivative in this, so I will use this at nights on alternative nights that I'm maybe not using a vitamin C serum in the morning. And this is great because not only do you get the effects of the vitamin C, but this also has a nice like texture to it. It provides enough moisture to my skin, where I feel like this is an efficient cream to use on my skin at night. So Bonajour has been one of those brands I've been discovering a lot of favorites from them, which you'll see throughout this video. And then another mention I wanted to shout out here is this guy from Obaji. I always pronounce that wrong. I'm not really sure. Anyways, this is the Vitamin C Suncare, the broad spectrum SPF 30 sunscreen. So this I'm mentioning because not only do I like this brand, it's more of like a clinical brand for those of you guys who are more into like higher percentage skincare. But this is also great because it includes both the vitamin C and the sunscreen into one product. So if you're not like me who enjoys kind of like the layering in the morning, you could use something like this which has it all in one. Now, the reason that I'm also giving this a shout out is because the texture of this is very unique. It kind of reminds me of the Unseen sunscreen from Supergoop if you've ever tried this. It's almost like a primer in this as well. So realistically, this is only nice on the face, but if you're going to be applying makeup on top of it, it like smooths the skin out so nicely. So I like that this again is like that all-encompassing product that's like skincare, but also like makeup in a sense. Now for 2020, I definitely found myself not wearing makeup as often, and I was also trying to be very gentle with my skin because by wearing a mask, my skin was getting very irritated, and I also think it was just the stress of it all and just, you know, lifestyle changes in general. So I wanted to be very gentle with my skin. So one thing that I switched to and tried to use a lot of were cream style cleansers. Now again, because I wasn't wearing a ton of makeup, I could get away with something like this. And a couple that I really liked is this guy here. This is from Softymo. This is the Speedy Cleansing Milk. And this actually reminds me of the Kate Somerville, the Delicate cleanser. They're pretty similar in the sense that like after you rinse them off your skin, you feel like your skin's actually been moisturized. As weird as that sounds, like a nice supple softness to your skin. So this has been really nice. Like I said, if I just need to cleanse my skin, I'll use something like this in the morning. And this is a more affordable option for those of you guys who are looking for like a nice, extremely gentle cream cleanser that's going to leave your skin feeling soft and supple. Now another cream cleanser that I like is also from Bonajour. This is the Mellow Mild Milk Cleanser. I mentioned this in one of my skincare routine videos that I filmed recently or the past couple of months, and I did really like this. I liked how it actually was a little bit more cleansing than maybe the Softymo one. So if I was actually wearing makeup, I could get away with using this as my cream cleanser. Of course, I'm double cleansing first, but yeah, this was definitely good at removing makeup and also any dirt or anything left over on the skin. The only thing that I can say that I didn't love about this was the scent of it. And I don't believe this has any added fragrance to it. I think it's just kind of the nature of how it smells. But it smelled like it smelled like masculine to me, and I don't know if I love like putting that on my face. But other than that, these two have been my favorite cream cleansers of 2020, and I plan on trying to find some more that I like. Speaking of cleansing, I did kind of go out of order there. I probably should have talked about my balm/oil cleansers first. And actually, now that I'm looking at it, I did not mean to do this at all, but they're from the same brands. And so the first one's from, again, Softymo. This is the Speedy Oil Cleanser, and I love this. This is one of my favorite cleansing oils. It goes on your skin so nicely, it removes and breaks up the makeup, and it also rinses from your skin really easily. I love Softymo for their cleansers and cleansing oils. This one in particular is my favorite. They have a couple different variations of it, so this is a very great affordable cleansing oil if you're looking for one, and you can get like big bottles of this. You can also buy like refill packages of this in case you want to like be more eco-friendly. So that's also something nice that's good about this cleansing oil and this brand in particular. And then going off the same brand with Bonajour, I really love their Rice Bran 90 Mild Cleansing Oil. Again, same reasons why I love the Softymo one. Easy to remove off the skin, it broke up all the makeup, and just did a really good job. So this was very gentle on my skin, didn't leave my skin feeling like waxy or dry or anything like that, so I also enjoyed this guy. I'm going way out of order here, but the next category I want to talk about are my favorite sunscreens of 2020. Now again, even though I spent a lot of time indoors, I still maintained my sunscreen routine daily. I'm not gonna lie, when I was picking out the products for this category, I was a little torn because you guys have been paying attention to the skincare community as of recently, there's been a kind of major controversy around the actual legitimacy of SPF claims on some very popular sunscreens. I'll be talking about some of my favorites. Hopefully these are excluded from that controversy, but if they're not, then I guess we'll find out sooner or later. But at this moment in time, I'm gonna go by what they're telling me. The first one is actually from Etude House. This is the Sunprise Mild Watery Light. This has an SPF 50+, PA triple plus allegedly, and this is a chemical sunscreen. Actually, pretty much all the sunscreens I'm going to be talking about are chemical. And the reason that I like this is because it goes on so nicely on the skin. And for my dry skin, it doesn't have that like dry alcohol-y feeling like some chemical sunscreens have. So this was really nice, and this since it was more affordable, I was pretty liberal with it. So I'd put it like on my neck and my chest and kind of on my arms for my walks. So this was nice. Like, it's definitely, just like the name implies, watery and light, and it's also mild on the skin, so I didn't feel like it was irritating like some sunscreens are for me. And then another one that I really liked was from Innisfree, and this is the Daily UV Defense Sunscreen. This has a broad spectrum SPF of 36 randomly. And this, for the same reason, is why I love the Etude House one. It goes on the skin like a dream. This one does have like a little bit more of like a dewy glow on your skin, but for like during the winter time, this is perfect for my dry skin. And since it's Innisfree, I love a lot of Innisfree products. I love the ingredients that they use, and I love the brand ideas and philosophies in general. So this one I really liked, and the broad spectrum with the US, it's supposed to mean also UVA and UVB. So we'll see. I don't know if they're gonna be like testing all these. And then last but not least, this one's kind of like a cult favorite as far as sunscreens go. This is from Canmake, and this is the Mermaid Skin Gel UV. This one's the 50 SPF plus PA quadruple plus. And I'm not sure I've mentioned this on my channel, which is kind of why I wanted to bring this into my favorites video as well, because I absolutely love this sunscreen. It's popular for a good reason because it goes on your skin like a dream, and it's really universally friendly for a lot of different skin types. And so I'm kind of curious to see if they're going to test this one as well. I know it's Japanese, so it might fall under like different regulations, but I guess we'll find out. But I'll be disappointed if any of these don't have the SPF that they claim, because I love these so much. They go on my skin so nice, and it doesn't even feel like I really have sunscreen on. That's the one thing with sunscreen that I've come to in 2020. Since I was like sitting with it on my skin and I wasn't applying makeup on top of it, I was really picky with how it felt on my skin, because sometimes with like physical sunscreens that have maybe like a little bit more of a white cast or felt a little bit heavier on the skin, I'd be a little bit more forgiving because I could kind of make up for that with my makeup. But since I wasn't wearing makeup, I was kind of like, I'm not even bothering. If I don't like how it feels on my skin, or if I can feel any slight tackiness, or if it has any slight white cast, I don't even want to bother. So hopefully I'll find some more physical sunscreens I like that don't have those issues, but we'll find out. Okay, this next category is kind of a doozy because this category has the most products in this category, and the category is products for calming the skin. So any products that are designed for like skin barrier repair or recovery. Like I said, 2020 has been the year where I really tried to let my skin kind of do its thing. I've tried to work on it and help with building up the actual integrity of my skin. And since I wasn't wearing a ton of makeup, I could kind of slather these things on like repeatedly throughout the day and night. And so these are the products that I love for that reason. So I guess let's go ahead and start off. I got like 3 Ampouler serums, and then I've got like 3 creams. So let's go ahead and start off with some of my favorite serums, I'm gonna call them. The first one is actually one I picked up for reviewing Glow Pick skincare winners. So this was one of them. This is from Missha. This is the Bee Pollen Renew Ampouler. And when I first tried this, in all honesty, I felt like it was pretty sticky on the skin. Yeah, I felt like it was sticky and heavy. Well, now since we're moving into the winter time, I have to take it back. I love this. This is so good. It does have kind of that like, I'll just show you guys, like the stringiness, because it's just like that elasticity like in the serum itself. I don't know how else to explain it, but this is good for like helping with damaged skin, and since it has that bee pollen, it's supposed to be like anti-inflammatory, antibacterial, very soothing on the skin. And I like the texture of this actually because it does create like a film on the skin, and so I could use something like this and just go to bed. Like I don't even need to put a cream on top of this because it's that moisturizing on the skin, so I absolutely love this. I could see now why it was an award-winning Ampouler. Next we have from iUNIK, which is a brand I always mispronounce. This is the Black Snail Restore Serum. Again, it basically has a lot of the same benefits. It helps with recovery of the skin. It's gonna help with inflammation and irritation. And this one's a little bit more of a forgiving formula. It's not like as like, it has a little bit of that like viscosity, I guess you could call it, but it absorbs better into the skin, which is why I'm mentioning this. So on days where I feel like I really need more moisture, I'll go for the Missha one. On days where I'm looking for like maybe a little bit lighter skincare, I'll go for something like this. Last but not least, as far as like the recovery Ampouler / serums, is from eNature. This is the Mugwort Relief Cream-poule. Goes on my skin like very watery, so it absorbs really quickly into the skin, and since it does have that like cream texture to it, it feels like it's very soothing on the skin. Now this does have like little beads in it almost, which is going to release some of the ingredients onto the face. So I love this again for when I'm looking to recover my skin. I feel like I'm saying a lot of the same things because I'm using these 3 products for essentially the same thing, but it's like different levels up. It's like lightest, medium, thickest. So I'm Goldilocks over here trying to pick my skincare. Now that we've talked about the healing and repairing ampules and serums, let's go ahead and talk about some of the creams I've been loving. So I'm gonna go ahead and do this one first because I've talked about belif enough, but this is the True Cream Moisturizing Balm. I love coating my face in this, and my face literally looks like baby skin the next morning. I love all their products, so this was one that I've been using for whenever I get like irritation on the skin, which I've been getting a lot this past year, or at least more frequently, and I think it's just from stress. So that's been really helpful. And for a more affordable option, we got another Etude House skincare product here, the Sunjung. This is a 2x barrier intensive cream. Again, this is something I'll cover my skin in whenever I have some type of irritation. The Sunjung line is a very excellent line for those of us who have sensitive skin, you have irritation, inflammation, you're looking to soothe and calm the skin. I'd highly recommend this line in general because they've got a lot of affordable products that are excellent. And then last but not least, we've got this guy from Purito. This is the Centella Unscented Recovery Cream. Again, like the name implies, I use this for when my skin needs to recover. This is a Centella Asiatica based product, which Centella Asiatica is one of those hero ingredients for, again, inflammation, irritation, all of the above. So these are the creams that I'll reach for whenever I get like bumpy, irritated, itchy, dry skin. These are the guys I'll use. And when I say I coat my skin, I literally coat my skin. Like I'll put a towel down on my pillow and I'll literally put like a thick layer on it because my skin sometimes just, it needs that, and that's what I found works best for whenever my skin's having issues. The next skincare category I'm going to be talking about is for fermented skincare. Now, this comes as no surprise to you guys who are familiar with my channel. I absolutely love fermented skincare products. Essentially, the idea behind fermented skincare are the ingredients are broken down into like smaller, more acceptable molecules, I guess you could call it, for your skin, so they're more easily absorbed by the skin. And a lot of times with fermented ingredients, they're probiotic rich, they've got a lot of other vitamins and minerals in them. Now, I could go on for days about how much I love fermented skincare, but let's just go ahead and get into the products that I love that feature fermented ingredients. So again, to knock off something that I've talked about at length on my channel in 2020, the AmorePacific Vintage Single Extract Essence. Now, I love this guy because it is a fermented green tea essence, and this has a very small ingredient list, but the reason that this is a little bit more pricey, because this is a more luxurious skincare item, is because essentially every bottle of this is what I consider a piece of art. The way they harvest and grow the green tea is something that is proprietary to AmorePacific. They ferment it in a particular way, so again, it's more broken down, readily acceptable, and rich for the skin, and I love how this makes my skin look and feel. And the way that I use this to prevent the least amount of waste is I will put this in a spray bottle and spritz it on my skin versus like wasting any on like my hands or cotton pad or anything like that. So this is something that if you're looking into like a more high-end essence, I'd highly recommend. And they also have smaller sizes, so if you want to try it out and see if it's worth the investment, you could try that out as well. Again, I've spoken about these products at length, so I won't talk about them too much. These are from Missha, and again, I love Missha essences. They come in a lot of different formats. I'm holding the mist one as well as their typical essence format, but essentially these kind of operate the same and go on the skin the same. Now the two favorite formulas that I have are the Artemisia one and then the red algae one. So the red algae I'd consider like my anti-aging essence, and the Artemisia is kind of like my everyday. Again, my skin's irritated or I'm trying to add more moisture into my skin, and so I kind of go back and forth between these two. So it's very rare that I find Missha skincare I don't love. But yeah, these are more affordable options as an alternative to the AmorePacific one in case you're in the market for some nice essences. And then to throw you guys for a loop, I've got this guy here, which is the Teatox Kombucha Real Teatox Mask. Now, as the name implies, we have kombucha in here, which is fermented tea, which you can actually see the tea leaves in the formula here. And I actually find that this is a pretty good dupe for a very popular fermented tea line that's a Western brand, but I love how this makes my skin feel. This is very much like, again, a calming mask for me. You know, days where your skin just feels itchy, hot, and red, and you're just like, okay, I need to put something on it, but I don't know what. I'll use something like this because, again, that kombucha is just really calming and soothing on the skin. The format of this is really nice because it is that jelly texture, so it goes on the skin and comes off pretty easily. And so I'll use this all the time, whether it's a 5 or 10 minute mask or whether I want to leave it on my skin for 10 or 15 minutes. This is my go-to. You guys know, I love jelly masks. They're just so much easier to me than like other masks. You guys can't be surprised I had to throw a jelly mask in here. All right, so if you're still here, we are on to our last category, which is actually body care. Now, body care I definitely consider skincare because you're taking care of your skin and you have a lot of it on your body. This year, or at least in 2020, I was making an effort to really try to find some products that worked really well with my body, because a lot of times when it comes to like my body skin, it tends to get neglected. Like I essentially will apply whatever I didn't like on my face to my body. That's how I use up products that I hadn't enjoyed. So last year I really wanted to try to find some products that actually were designed for my body that I liked. And one brand in particular really stood out to me, and this is iUNIK. Now you guys probably heard of iUNIK because they make a lot of great products and they're very sensitive skin friendly. They're basically kind of advertised as like safe for babies. So if they're safe for babies, you kind of think that they must be safe for your skin. This line, the Fresh Moisture line in particular, is one of my favorites. They've got the pink line, the gray line, I believe the original line, and so I'll be exploring more of those in the future, I'm sure, but this one I really like. It's non-sticky on the skin, and the lotion version of this absorbs really nicely and doesn't feel tacky, which I know a lot of times when you're putting like clothes on after you shower, it's kind of like, ugh, like you don't want to feel sticky. So I really, really like this line, and I definitely wanted to give it a shout out in this video. All right, you guys, so those were my favorites in categories for the year 2024 skincare. I hope you guys enjoyed, and like I said, I'm sure there are plenty of other favorites I could have included, but this was just kind of like my wrap up, and I'm excited to try out more skincare for 2021. Definitely leave in the comment section down below what your guys' favorites were or what skincare you guys would like me to look into more, and I would be happy to check it out. But it feels good to finally like sit down and film again. I took a little break at the end of the year like I always do to enjoy the holidays and to just sit back and relax for a couple days, which I really enjoyed, and I hope you guys had the same opportunity, that you were able to kind of relax and kind of detox from 2020 in general. And as always, I hope you guys are happy and healthy, and don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe, share with your friends and family, hit that notification bell, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys!